is going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining us right here on Outside the Brand. This is your AEW Dynamite Quake by the Lake post show for August 10th, 2022. I am your host, Phil, and of course, this is Outside the Brand. Thank you so much for joining us on your Wednesday nights, wherever you may be. Quake by the Lake, it was another AEW special event for the Dynamite specials and everything like that, and I have to say, it was a pretty dang good show. We had, 5 matches on the show tonight when it came to the actual match card. Some good segments here and there. And it was just a really good night of pro wrestling. We had the Coffin Match to start off the show, and then obviously the World Title match main evented the show. And then we had some great things in between. Jade Cargill defending her TBS championship against Madison Rayne. That was pretty dang good. We had Aaron Solo take on Ricky Starks, and Ricky Starks just being an absolute beast as he usually is. He is continuing his feud with Powerhouse Hobbs, so that's going to be a good thing for the future of AEW, getting that to All Out most likely. And then we also had another match between Jungle Boy was on commentary for Luchasaurus' match against Anthony Henry. Now, after that, obviously, Christian, he made his appearance known backstage, and then we had a little bit of a brawl backstage between all of them, but it was a good thing. And at the end of it all, at the end of the show, CM Punk made his return to AEW. Now, CM Punk's return couldn't have come at a better time, honestly. CM Punk back on AEW television. It gets them back on track after the company we obviously know was in a downward spiral with all the major injuries that happened in that company. But CM Punk being back really does help the company in an obvious state of just a downfall, right? So CM Punk being back with all that stuff, it's going to be a great thing. And we are going to be seeing Jon Moxley versus CM Punk at All Out for the unification of the World Championships. And that's going to be absolutely amazing in itself. CM Punk, Jon Moxley, World Title. CM Punk is going to beat Jon Moxley. I'm sorry for you guys out there, but that will be a thing. And he will be the new but still undisputed AEW World Champion. Another thing that happened tonight was the revealing of the Trios Tag Team Championship Tournament. We do know that the Trios Tag Team Championship Tournament finals will be happening at All Out, but we do have the tournament set in stone and ready to go. And I will be revealing that to you guys right now. So you guys won't be able to see me, but you guys will still hear me. We have this as our Trios Tag Team Championship Tournament. Now we have the Death Triangle versus Will Ospreay and the rest of Aussie Open. I think Death Triangle moves on into the semifinals there. We have Andrade, El Idolo, Dragon Elite, and Roosh versus the Young Bucks and Question Mark. That question mark will ultimately be Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega will be in the semis against Death Triangle. The Trustbusters versus Best Friends. I'm putting the Best Friends over the Trustbusters. And then House of Black versus Dark Order. I could honestly see Dark Order being the ones to beat House of Black and get to semifinals. I can honestly see Death Triangle. I can honestly see Dark Order going to the finals. Now, if Dark Order consists of Hangman Adam Page, that's the only reason. That is the only reason why I see Dark Order going to the finals. If Dark Order doesn't have Hangman Adam Page in the trio, House of Black is going to the finals along with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. And Waff will be here soon. That's great. So I think it's either going to be House of Black or Dark Order in the finals. But on the left side of the bracket, it's obviously going to be Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. They're going to be in the finals for that. I think Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks will be winning the entire bracket. I do. And then we'll see where Hangman Adam Page goes from there, turning on the Dark Order or whatever. That could be neither here or there, but I do think that the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega will be the first ever Trios Tag Team Champions. And you know what? Here's the thing. I thought that honestly that's just going to be a terrible move, but at the end of the day, I really don't think it's going to be that bad. I don't. Because what happened when it came to the Tag Team Championship, when Hangman and Kenny Omega won the Tag Team titles? They brought prominence to those championships, and they really showed that the Tag Team titles meant something in AEW. They're going to show the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, they are going to show that the AEW Trios Tag Team Championships are going to mean something. And that's really what this is going to be all for. It's not just going to be to add another championship to Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks' resume. It is going to be for them so that they can show to the rest of the audience, as well as the rest of the Trios division, that these championships are going to mean something, and it's going to be an absolutely great addition to the championship divisions here in AEW. It's nothing like you'd ever really see before in championship wrestling when it comes to all that type of stuff there. So putting it on Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks is honestly not that bad of an idea. You just got to get those tag team championships prominent, and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega will be able to do that. So I do think that is going to be, our champions at the end of All Out. And you know what? That's not going to be a bad idea. It's not. I really don't think it's that bad. And wow, that is right. All Out is the day after Clash at the Castle. To be completely honest, I forgot about that. So there you go. We got Clash at the Castle and then All Out. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or if that was planned, but at the end of the day, we do have those two events that are going to be happening that weekend. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, going back to that, I do think Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks will be the tag team champions, the Trios tag team champions. And at the end of the day, I really don't think that's bad. I don't. I don't think that's bad at all, because they're going to show that the tag team titles will mean something. The Trios tag team titles mean something. Just like Kenny Omega and Hangman did for the actual AEW World Tag Team titles. But we had all that take place. CM Punk is officially back in AEW. That's going to be a great thing. We know that AEW has had some major injuries over the last few months, and the thing is, that's really stifled the creativity of not only Tony Khan, but the rest of AEW. And it's made the product not, I wouldn't say it's unwatchable, but I would say that it definitely had a downward spiral in the way that things were, being booked creatively. But now that CM Punk is back, we're going to be getting CM Punk and Jon Moxley at All Out for the world title. I think that's going to be a great thing, and hopefully we'll see some more injured superstars come back to the fold. Buddy Matthews even returned tonight too, and he was on the shelf as well. So there's that to look forward to as well for House of Black. And yeah, so I think it's been, I think it was a successful episode of Dynamite. We got some good things going there. We progressed some stories heading into All Out. We got a return, or technically two. We got two returns tonight, and Buddy Matthews and CM Punk. We got the Trios Tag Team Championship Tournament revealed, so that's good. It was just a really good build-up episode of Dynamite tonight, and yeah, man, we're going to get right into it. So we're going to get right into the actual review portion of the show. Once Loft does get in here, we will be getting right into that. But guys, you guys can follow us on social media. All the TikTok links are down in the description below. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at PhillyMatt_. You guys can go check out anything that you may have missed on the channel over the last couple of days. We have our Monday Night Raw review and our Tuesday's Talk, which was also streamed on twitch.tv/Panda Wrestling Company. And yeah, guys, you guys can go check that out. Hit that follow button over on Twitch if you haven't already. We are trying to get to, let me actually take a look at Panda Wrestling Company right now to see where we are, because I believe they are still live right now. Yes, they are. Panda Wrestling Company is actually live right now on Twitch with Bree's show with obviously Self that Dad had and more. So yeah, you guys can go check out the Wrestle Talk Wolfpack episode number 2 for about another 15 more minutes. They're still going to be live until 11 o'clock, but we are trying to get to Panda Wrestling Company to get them to 300 followers, and we are about 29 followers away from that. So, Jesus. If you haven't followed the Panda Wrestling Company on Twitch, I do recommend you do that because we are live. The Panda Wrestling Company is live every single weekday, from 7 to 9 for the first show, and then 9 to 11 on their second show. And it's been a great time. It's been a great time bringing Tuesday's Talk over to Twitch. I love that Panda. I love that the Panda Wrestling Company, aka Love Panda, took a chance on us and was able to, bring Tuesday's Talk to a bigger stage, and that was Twitch.tv. So yeah, we couldn't be more grateful for him. And he said that, listen, every single time that we've been on live, it's been some great numbers. So it's going to be a great thing. And I love that we continue to help the Panda Wrestling Company grow. So there's that. Also, you guys can go get the merch at bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Outside the Brand and its merchandise. You guys can go get the Wolfpack t-shirt. You guys can go get the For the Brand t-shirt in the APA style design. You guys can go get the coffee mug with the OTB insignia on it, the OTB tote bag, and many more on the bonfire.com website. So go click in the link down below. There is a link for the Bonfire store, so go check that out. Bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Outside the Brand and its merchandise. Hit that subscribe button down below as we are on the road to 600 subscribers, but that ultimate goal is at 1K, so that you guys can go send those super chats, and the super chats will be another portion of the show where you guys can submit a question via the super chat, and we'll just answer all the questions that we get via super chat. So go subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the bell for all notifications. That way you never miss when we go live. It's a great way to just stay tuned with OTB wherever you are. And yeah, man, it's a fun time over here. We do some great things. So the next time that you'll be seeing us is on Friday for the Friday Night SmackDown and AEW Rampage post show. And yeah, guys, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to continue doing this thing. We are on episode 230 right now. So on the road to 300, about 70 episodes away. It's going to be here before you know it. And we're just going to have to celebrate another milestone at episode 300. So let's do it. All right. Let's continue doing the thing. So thank you guys so much for joining us right here on OTB. And let's get right in to the show. All right. Let me pull up my notes. All right. If I can get my notes out real quick. There we go. All right. So We started off the show straight off the bat with the Coffin Match. And the Coffin Match was pretty dang good between Darby Allin and Brody King. Now, Brody King, obviously, as we all know, House of Black member. And we know that Darby Allin has competed in both of the Coffin matches that happened here in AEW before. There have been two. Darby Allin's been in both, and Darby Allin has won both of them up until this point. Darby Allin and Brody King absolutely killed each other in this match. No pun intended with the actual Coffin stipulation. This was a really good match show. I love the Brody King and Darby Allin aspect because Brody King is an absolute monster and he should be treated as such. Darby Allin is a smaller guy, so you got that David versus Goliath type of thing going on, right? But Darby Allin's a sick motherfucker. Darby Allin is a sick motherfucker and he can mess you up. So you got that going in for it. Then you have the aura of the House of Black. Are the House of Black going to get involved? Phil, you're not tired. You're not tired. You got the House of Black. Can they get involved? You got you got Sting. You got Sting. Can Sting get involved? And honestly, at the end of it all of that happened. House of Black showed up with the return of Buddy Matthews. Julia Hart got involved, so there's also that as well. And then you also had Sting, who was in the coffin the entire time. It was craziness. It was absolute craziness. So we come back. So no, we didn't. We had a picture-in-picture at one point during this match, but I'm glad it was at least a picture-in-picture. And we had Black. He picked up the baseball bat. He picked up a baseball bat and then drops it at Sting's feet. Black walks away as Sting shouts him down. Sting then chases Black, and Darby, he hits a cannonball out of the ring. Sting and Black then stare at each other down on the ramp. King then throws Darby into the barricade and slams Darby into the steel stairs. King then sets up the coffin, but he picks up Darby Allin. He climbs the stairs. Darby fights out and hits a back elbow. King then chokes Darby, but Darby escapes. Darby then chokes King with a steel chain, and King passes out, falls into the coffin, and the lid closes, and Darby picks up the win. Like I said, pretty dang good match here. Darby Allin, you see the best out of Darby Allin in these coffin matches. They just fit well for him. It fits his character. The thing is, the coffin match really became a staple of the Darby Allin character, and it works so well. It does. It works so well. And at the end of the day, Darby Allin is still undefeated when it comes to coffin matches, now being 3-0 in those type of matchups. It's a good thing. It's a good thing because Darby Allin, him finally getting a win. I understand it's another House of Black loss. I do. And it sucks, honestly. It does. But Darby Allin getting the best of Brody King had to have been the best move here because, with that being said, Darby Allin has also been losing a ton, and Darby Allin needs his wins back. He does. He needs his wins at some points too. And what better way to do that than to do it in this coffin match? The thing is, you're not pinning Brody King. So you're not having his, big physique being pinned down for 3 seconds. It's legitimately him getting inside a coffin with a lid shut. That's it. You're not making him tap out. You're not like pinning him to the mat. Like it's a win. It's a win, and it's a much needed win for Darby because Darby has been losing a ton lately, and he needs his wins back. So I was very fine with this. Honestly, I wanted it to happen, and I'm glad it did. So we'll definitely see where things go from here with the House of Black and Darby Allin, because I don't think it's actually going to be over. I really don't. I think we might see, they're setting up a trios match between the House of Black and Miro with Darby and Sting. But I don't know, with the whole Miro thing that happened tonight, I don't know if Miro might actually be with Sting and Darby Allin for much longer. So we'll see where that goes from there. But Jon Moxley is backstage and he says that, what if we call the Interim World title the FYI belt? The championship is about pain and how much you can endure. For over 2 decades, we have seen Jericho's fighting spirit in full display. We will test it and push it to its breaking point. If the fighting spirit doesn't break, your body will. Come back from commercial break, and Chris Jericho is backstage now, cutting the promo on the champion. He says that 2.5 years of taking back what is his, he will become the new AEW World Champion. Moxley wanted to face Lionheart, the last survivor of Stu Hart's dungeon. Stu Hart was vicious and violent. He was a twisted, he will twist, turn, and stretch the shit out of Moxley. I was the first AEW World Champion, and I will be the next AEW World Champion. And then we had the match between Andrade El Idolo and Rush versus the Lucha Bros. And man, was this so cool. This was just a really cool tornado tag team match. It's one of the first tornado tag team matches that I could remember in AEW. And like I said, that I could remember. And Andrade and Rush are so good together. I know they teamed together in Mexico in the past, and they kind of, reformed here in AEW, which is great. It's a great thing. And the Lucha Bros are just so good. They're so good. But yeah, this is a really good clash of styles with the whole Lucha Libre stuff. The Tornado tag team style aspect really did well. And I'm glad that, this match is really good. I'm glad it was really good. So, and they gave this match a ton of time too. They really did. So we had Andrade accidentally, he hit a super kick on Rush. Penta with a super kick to Andrade. Then Rush hit a drop kick to Penta. Andrade with a double knees in the corner to Penta. Rush with a power bomb on Phoenix. And Penta hit a rolling cutter, and all 4 men are down. Penta with a high boot, then hits a destroyer on the apron to Andrade. Looked like it absolutely sucked. And he sold the fuck out of that too, which is great. Andrade, he then blocks Penta. Rush then escapes a fear factor. Rush then with a headbutt. Andrade then makes it to the ropes. Phoenix with a super kick. Rush, he hits a shotgun drop kick after that. Rush then hits a power driver cover, and Penta unmasks himself to save the pinfall and breaks up the count. Craziness, right? The fact that he unmasked himself just to break up the pinfall really showed the tenacity of the Lucha Bros and the way that they wanted to win this match. It didn't even care if Penta had to lose his mask just to save his brother Rey Fenix from a pinfall. He did it. And that's the story here, folks, because at the end of the day, that's their mission. That is Andrade and Rush's mission, to take away the mask of Pentagon. That's the story. That's the story. And I think people need to really realize that right now, because the whole mask of Penta, that's the whole story, and that's the reason why these guys are here. So he broke up the count there. Andrade then takes Penta's mask. Jose then takes out Alex on the outside. Rush then throws Penta out of the ring. Phoenix then gets a roll up for a 2 count. Rush then hits a bullhorns dropkick in the corner. It looks like it absolutely sucks every single time that bullhorns dropkick happens. And then Andrade hit a hammerlock DDT for the win. 1, 2, 3. Absolutely spiked Rey Fenix on his head. And that was it. Very good tag team match. Andrade and Rush pick up the win. That's what should have happened. And man, I'm really liking what Andrade and Rush are doing right now. It took a little while for Andrade to find his groove here in AEW. Like, now that he has Rush and everything like that, we're getting that mafia type feel with this team, and getting it back into the swing of things. I'm really gonna like what Andrade is gonna be doing from now on. I really do. I think they actually figured out what they wanted to do with Andrade, and it's gonna be working. It really is. So it took a whole while, and honestly, it took way too fucking long to figure out what you could do with Andrade, but you found it. You found it in the end. So I'm very happy about that, and we are good to go with that. The Young Bucks are backstage, and they go into the Dark Order's locker room. The Bucks then thank Paige for saving them last week. Then they apologize for what they did. The favorite part of their careers was when they were all together. Everything got weird, the fame, the TV time, they got selfish. And they're sorry about that. So, with all that being said, this is the building that Paige won the AEW World title. Paige became the Elite that night, and they can never go back to those years again. Maybe they are bad people, but when they are around Paige, he brings out the good in them. The Bucks asked Paige to be their tag team partner in the Trios Tag Team Championship tournament, and Paige says that he can't. I want to answer that, Josh, real quick. Are the Bucks faces now? When the Bucks bring out Kenny Omega for the Trios World Championship tournament, they're going to be nothing but baby faces. Yes, they are. They're going to be baby faces because Kenny Omega is going to be cheered upon his comeback. There's no way that Kenny Omega should return as a heel. Don Callis should not return with Kenny Omega. That's a terrible move. And the Young Bucks being associated with Kenny, who's going to have a massive babyface reaction when he does come back, that is going to be a way to associate the Young Bucks as a babyface tag team. And that's going to be the thing going forward with this. Now, the reason why I think Hangman said no is because I think Hangman is going to be a part of the trios that's going to be with the Dark Order. I think it's probably going to be, if I had to guess, it's Johnny Hungy. Who's going to be in that trios for the Dark Order? I think it's going to be Johnny Hungy, John Silver. John Silver. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up because who's the person that you who's the member that usually teams with John Silver? That's what I'm trying to really look for. Alex Reynolds. I think that's it. Yeah, I think Alex Reynolds is the guy that usually teams with John Silver. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. So I think it's gonna be John Silver, Alex Reynolds, and possibly Hangman. If Evil Uno is not going to be a part of the trios for some reason, I don't know why he wouldn't be. Honestly, I think it could be honestly Evil Uno. So Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver of the Dark Order, and then obviously he's because Hangman did say he's going to be at ringside for their match, so I don't know if he's actually going to be in the match. I don't know. It's going to be weird. Obviously the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega are going to be in the finals. Like that's going to be a thing, and they're honestly going to win the whole tournament. But if Hangman was to be in the tournament as well with the Dark Order, I could see the Dark Order going to the finals as well, and that way we can see Hangman versus the Bucks and Kenny with the Dark Order involved, because the Dark Order was with Hangman all those years when the Elite outcasted him. So it's a weird situation. I think it is, but the thing is, it makes sense for the story. If you're going to be doing Hangman trying to figure out where his allegiance lies between the Elite and the Dark Order, you have the Dark Order go to the finals with the Elite. And then once that happens, then you can decide, all right, where is Hangman's allegiance lie? Does he stay with the Dark Order because the Dark Order has been helping him through his, crisis ever since the whole Elite cast him out? Or does he side with his former friends in Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks because they are trying to get in good graces with them again? So it's a very weird situation. I think it's actually a very good kind of weird situation. We're going to be seeing a great thing when it comes to this trios tournament. I like it. I like it. And the thing is, having the whole backstory of, all right, where does Hangman's allegiance lie? That's what makes this trios tournament seem so special. So I do like that. And then we had so then we had, after all of that take place, we had Luchasaurus versus Anthony Henry, and this was a squash match. You could literally count to 3 seconds and the match is over. Henry gets a quick attack to little effect. Luchasaurus hits a huge German, hits a headbutt, and then the fossilizer for the 1, 2, 3. Done. And that's it. We then had Christian Cage, who was clapping backstage. He says the people of Minneapolis don't deserve to see him in person. He is having too much fun with this. Jungle Boy then runs and attacks him. Secretly, security, Jesus, what the hell? Security held him back, and Luchasaurus chokeslams security onto a crate, and then he headbutts Pat Buck. Miro is backstage. Julia Hart then tells him to give in to the darkness. Miro says only one woman can talk to him like that, and you are not her. Tell your pagans he accepts their gift. The path to his God is clear, and it leads through the House of Black. This is a word of the Redeemer. I don't know what's happening with Miro, but I love it. And yes, Christian is a menace to society, easily. I don't know what's happening with Miro right now, but I absolutely love it. Having the two sides of him, the like the light side of him, right, versus the dark side, because of the House of Black trying to influence him to join. And then there's another side of thing where it's like his God and everything like that, and it's the light, right? Whatever happens here, I think this is the involvement of CJ Perry. I do. I think CJ Perry could be possibly coming back to professional wrestling, and she could be a part of the whole Miro act. Now, because he keeps bringing up his woman, right? He keeps bringing up this one woman that can talk to him in that way. That one woman that has been with him through thick and thin, and that's his wife. That's his wife, CJ Perry, aka Lana, the former Lana in WWE. It makes sense to have Lana back and with him. Makes sense to have CJ Perry with him. I've been honestly trying to have CJ Perry come back with him for many months, many months actually. And now we can finally possibly have that. Now, if he actually does have to go through House of Black, then he's obviously joining Sting and Darby Allin. But if he joins the House of Black, that doesn't really make too much sense because he doesn't really fit that. He doesn't really fit that type of a character, at least to me. I don't know about you guys, but at least to me, Miro does not fit in with the House of Black whatsoever. So you can have him teaming up with Sting and Darby Allin, get through the House of Black, and then you can possibly introduce Lana or CJ Perry, whatever really what they want to call her, after the match at All Out. You can have her return after the match at All Out, kind of like revealing the person that he's been with all of this time. Or you can even do that while he's making his entrance for All Out, like saying, like, all right, we're finally going to get to see this woman that he's kind of been talking about over the last few weeks. So I think we're going to get CJ back, and it's going to be a good thing for him because honestly, CJ and Miro, they worked well together. They worked well together in WWE as Lana and Rusev, and they're going to work well together here. So I do think it's going to be good there, and we'll see where that goes. So we come back from commercial break, and Mark Henry is interviewing Powerhouse Hobbs. QT Marshall then interrupts with the factory. QT says that Will shouldn't be worried about Starks. They will take care of Starks tonight, and nobody says no to the factory. Hobbs then rejects their offer. Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh make their way to the ring, and Dutt says that they did what they did to Wardlow was the unthinkable. Singh then chokeslams Wardlow through the table. Satnam Singh chokeslammed Wardlow through a table that night, and Wardlow may think that that he's done with them, but they aren't done with him. Lethal says that they sent a message to Wardlow. Wardlow chants that happened in the arena, and Lethal says that he will take that TNT title. Wardlow then makes his way to the ring. He says that they have another shot at the world title, at that title. If you want another shot at the world at that title, fine. You can have a shot at the TNT title. But tonight, he's going to kick all three of their asses. FTR then make their entrance to help Wardlow fend off the team of Lethal, Dutt, and Satnam. And they back out of the ring. Lethal then goes for Wardlow, but he gets blocked, and FTR hit him with the Big Rig. fine. I'm fine with him being tied up with Jay Lethal right now. I don't have any problem with Wardlow being with Jay Lethal and this whole thing right now. Does FTR deserve to be a part of this feud? No, I don't think so. I really don't, actually, because I think FTR can do a lot better. I do think FTR can do a lot better, but at the end of the day, they're just doing this, I think, for a one-time thing, and I don't think it's going to be leading into anything more. Walter, The Fiend could go to AEW, but he's more than likely going back to WWE, and that's going to be honestly the best bet for him. The Fiend should return to WWE, especially with Triple H now being in power. So, yeah. The Fiend, he's going back to the WWE. We then had Ricky Starks versus Aaron Solo next, member of the Factory, and Ricky Starks took it. He took it to Aaron Solo, and it was a great thing to see. Solo attacked first, but Starks then he sees it coming. Starks him with a clothesline, back body drop, and Carter trips Starks. Solo then hit a lariat. Carter then is ejected from the match. And Solo with a right hand in the corner. Starks then fights out of the corner, a jawbreaker, tornado DDT, running knee, and then Solo blocks a Rochambeau, but Starks hit a spear for the win, 1, 2, 3, and that was it. Starks with the win. I love Ricky Starks. That's all it is. Ricky Starks is just amazing. The man continues to impress, and he will do amazing things heading into All Out with his match against Powerhouse Hobbs. It's going to be a great thing, and yeah, man. Starks is just that dude. Starks became an organic babyface over time, and it wasn't even really. I don't even think it really was the plan. I think the fans just really gravitated towards him for real, and at the end of the day, with that organic type of feel with fans just getting behind somebody, they had to do something about it, and they turned Ricky Starks babyface with that promo. And then what better way to, really get the sympathy going for a new babyface than to have Powerhouse Hobbs turn on his tag team partner, which was Ricky Starks. So this is going to be a great feud. I love the feud, and I love the way that they're building it here for All Out. I do. Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs are going to be the future of this company, and there's no doubt about that. We know this. But with All Out being a little bit so far away right now, we're about maybe 4 or 5 weeks out until All Out. We have a little bit of time. Not everything needs to be guns a-blazing to, get the story be driven. All you need to do is do these little segments like this and show that these guys can, kill it in the ring. And then nearing the end of the feud, around 2 to 3 weeks in or before the show, then you have it amp up a little bit. Then you have the storyline amp up a bit to see where these guys can take it. Because we know these guys can go. But at the end of the day, even though we know what the whole story is of Powerhouse Hobbs being the one that's jealous of Ricky Starks, who just automatically got the fans' reaction, what else can the story be about other than the jealousy of Powerhouse Hobbs and, the organic, turn that happened for Ricky? I think this is going to be a good thing. I think Powerhouse Hobbs is going to be a future world champion. I think Ricky Starks could be a future world champion. It's just a matter of time before we figure that out. So I do like that, and I really do appreciate the way that Tony Khan's trying to build this thing, because it doesn't have to go full blazing right away. You don't have to make every single feud a blood feud, full blazing, Just go in there for the punches every single time. Let it be a build. Let it be a build. See what happens. See what the crowd thinks. And that way, you know what we want. You know how the crowd thinks. And then you're just going for it near the end of the build. That way, we can get really more invested into the product. Nick Comoroto, he ran down with a chair. Starks then ducks under a chair shot and hits a spine buster. Stark then goes for the Rochambeau, but Solo attacks him from behind. Comoroto then goes for an attack with a chair. Solo then holds him back, but Starks fights both of them off. Starks then runs into the crowd and escapes from the factory. Hobbs is shown trashing the backstage area in anger. The Gunna Club is backstage, and Billy says that they're pretty upset after the whole dumpster match situation. Stokely Hathaway then came up to offer the Guns a business card to join Stokely's stable. Billy says that Hathaway is about to have a really bad day. Hathaway then leaves. Danhausen then walks in and says that he will see them on Friday for Rampage. So it's probably going to be a tag match between the Ass Boys, Danhausen, and I believe it's actually Eric Redbeard. So I think it's like Beardhausen versus the Gunna Club. So it should be pretty cool. Eric Redbeard's back. Eric Rowan's back in AEW for this one-time appearance, and it's really cool. I do like that. So we'll see where things go from there. Tony Schiavone with Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends. Arya Daivari tells Orange that he should ditch the Best Friends. Orange rejects. Madison Rayne makes her entrance, and it's time for the TBS Championship. Wasn't a bad match by any means. I say this was probably the worst match of the night, but that's not saying really anything too special. It just wasn't my favorite match of the night. That's all. We came back from picture-in-picture, and Jade hit a vertical suplex cover for a 2 count. Rayne then with a jawbreaker. Rayne then with forearms. A boot into an enziguri. Rayne then with a swinging neck breaker, then a botched flipping neck breaker, but it was botched, and hopefully they're okay. And it was from the second rope, cover for a 2 count. Madison Rayne then hit a tornado DDT for a 2 count. Kiera Hogan then shouts out Rayne from the ring apron. Jade then goes for a pump kick, but hits Hogan instead. Rayne then rolls Jade up for a 2. Jade then hits a pump kick and then goes for a Jaded. Rayne blocks it, and Jade picks her up once again, hits the Jaded, and hits it for the win. 1, 2, 3. So she retains. She's like 36-0 or something like that right now. Athena then came out afterwards, and she pretty much stuck her claim and held the TBS Championship up high. She wants the title, and I think Athena is going to be the one to beat Jade, but I think it should be Chris. I think it should be Chris Statlander. So I love that, they're giving something for Athena to do. I just think it should be Chris. I do. I think Chris Statlander deserves it way more. Chris Statlander has had the tenure. Chris Statlander has been waiting for her opportunity, and it's going to be taken away by Athena. I love Athena, don't get me wrong. I think Ember Moon is great. I think Athena has been phenomenally used in AEW so far. And honestly, she is a believable woman to defeat Jade Cargill. That's not the problem I have here. It's just Chris Statlander has been so deserving of something more than what she's getting. And I just feel like she needs the title. I do. But it looks like it's going to be Athena to get the title off of Jade. I'm not going to be mad at it, but I think it should be a different person. We then had Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa there being backstage interviewed by Tony Schiavone. And Tony is now the number one contender for the world title once again. But Rosa says that it's not what she wanted, but it is what it is. Tony says that next week she will start her momentum. That'll lead to her being an AEW Women's World Champion. Rosa wishes her the best of luck, but they'll talk about a World Championship match at a later date. I'm fine with them running it back. I am. I'm fine with them running it back for the women's title. I think they had a good match the first time around, and I don't think they're not going to have a bad match the second time around. I think they'd be good for it. So we'll see where things go. I really do think that, and I think that they're going to be perfectly fine. I want Toni Storm to win the championship, but I want Thunder Rosa to turn heel and keep it for some reason. I think Toni Storm I think I would love to see Toni Storm as Women's World Champion right now. But Thunder Rosa, she needs that switch. She needs that switch and says, yeah, I'm the fucking Women's World Champion. Just flip the freaking switch. Turn heel. Turn heel, flip the switch, become a world champion that you know you should be, and just go guns a-blazing. Go for it. Go for it. Like, it's not going to be that bad if you turn heel. And the thing is, you'd be great as a heel because you have the promo to be a heel. You have the cadence to be a heel. You have the persona to be a heel. Toni Storm would be great as AEW Women's World Champion, but if Thunder Rosa wanted to flip the switch, turn heel, become that character that we all know that she could be, her retaining the championship over Toni isn't going to be a bad idea either. I want what's best for both of them. I want what's best for both of them. I do. If Toni Storm is the one to beat Thunder Rosa, I'm perfectly fine with it. But if Thunder Rosa is going to retain this championship, she has to be a heel for it. You have to be a heel. So it's either heel Thunder Rosa, or we're getting a new AEW Women's World Champion, and that'll be Toni Storm. That's the way I look at it. I do. I think Toni Storm would be a great Women's World Champion, but if they want to keep the title on Thunder, you have Thunder turn heel. On Toni Storm, for sure, because the Women's World Championship match between Toni and Thunder is going to happen regardless. So if you want her to turn heel, you do it during this feud, and you can have it retain or win no matter what. But coming out of this, Thunder Rosa needs to be a heel. And that's just that. That's just that. So we'll see where that goes. I really do think that they can, kill it once again for the Women's World title. They did a good job the first time, so I don't think they're going to shit the bed again. Yeah. I would want Thunder to turn heel. And I've been saying that for the last few weeks. If you guys have been here on the show over the last few Wednesdays, I've been saying that Thunder Rosa needs to be turning heel at some point. So we'll see where that goes. It's just the way that I think it should happen. We then had the main event, the AEW Interim World Championship match. This was fantastic. Of course, Moxley is bleeding. It's not a Moxley match without him bleeding. It just happens all the time now. Jericho, he looked great tonight, actually, though. He did. He shaved. He did his whole thing. He got his hair back. Well, he's had his hair, but you get what I mean. When they did the whole Lionheart Lionheart type gimmick for him. They got the Lionheart jacket. They wore the pants that he had for the Lionheart. They got the old Lionheart New Japan Titantron and everything like that. Like, he was the Lionheart tonight, which was great. And I think they really did a good job at making him the Lionheart again. It's a really good thing. And I think the Lionheart Chris Jericho should stick around a lot more often because he looks a lot younger without the facial hair. Wow, if you're finally here, my man, what's up?
Yo. Oh. What's going on?
All right, we're just actually getting to the main event.
I know. I turned it on and you were right there. I was like, okay, I'm not. I thought you were done by now. I was hoping you weren't.
I didn't actually go into the match yet, but I was just talking about the way that they were presenting the Lionheart Chris Jericho. Have you ever seen Lionheart in action?
No, that was the first time.
Okay, what did you think?
I mean, he has like 1,500 gimmicks, so I thought it was one of them. You know? I was like, okay. You know?
The Lionheart was obviously, you know, the way that they were building this thing was, and this is true, he was the last student to graduate out of Stu Hart's dungeon. That is a true fact when it comes to that whole thing. The Lionheart didn't really, you know, start fully getting into things until he went back to New Japan. That's why they had a New Japan type feel for his Titantron tonight, if you saw that.
Yeah.
They got the Lionheart jacket and everything. The Lionheart jacket is sick.
He looked cool.
That little vest that he had and everything, and like the pants that he had on, like, he looked great. And the thing is, he shaved like his whole facial hair gimmick and everything. Which he looks a lot younger. Like, please continue, like continue that. I think I know. Like, I understand people have their flack with Jericho, and at some points it is very valid because I think some people think that he's going to be like Ric Flair, where Ric Flair, we all know he's just the type of guy that just does not know when the hell just to step away from the ring, right? Do you think Jericho's going to be that type of a guy where he's like, I'm just never going to retire because that's just not who I am? Or do you think he could actually, you know, at least figure out, all right, it's time to slow things down? And there he goes again. He'll be back. I know Jericho had hair when he debuted in WWE. That was just my messing up, as I usually do. You guys know I mess up. What up, Jacko? But yeah, I was gonna ask Loft if, and you guys can answer this in the chat if you can. We all know that Ric Flair, he kind of has a problem with himself of saying, like, there he is. Okay. So as I was saying before the camera cut out or freaking router, because you know things happen here with them.
Bro, my Wi-Fi sucks, man.
I know, like, trust me, I don't care, but it happens. As I was saying though before, Ric Flair really does have a problem at times when it comes to him just, like, you know, staying away from the ring when we all know that he freaking should. Is Jericho going to be another scenario of that? Do you think he could be?
I hope to God not. I don't think so. I hope he just
hope that he
retires
thinks,
him.
like, all right, I'm slowing down at this point. I hope that he would just, you know, kind of see that within him and hopefully just retire when it's best for him.
Yeah.
But I just know from some of the people that I have talked to that they think that Jericho could be that type of a guy where it's like, I just can't step away, which I really hope not. But he didn't look bad tonight at all. To me,
no, he didn't look terrible. I mean, I haven't been the biggest fan of Chris Jericho in AEW anyway, so this was an improvement from the last time because like I remember when I first started watching, he was like, he looked like he wasn't supposed to be out there, and he definitely looks better now. But I just wanted to make sure that Mox won because I don't like the way Jericho is presented right now.
Yeah.
In AEW, so
I had no doubt in my mind that Jericho was losing here. I had no doubt.
It's just I have a negative connotation toward him anyway, so it's like it's biased anyway. I have a negative feeling towards him in AEW anyway.
I mean, he's 51.
Well, Sting's like 84, jumping off shit. So
Jericho didn't look 51 tonight.
No, he looked like he was 41.
Like he didn't look bad. Like that's what I'm saying here. And obviously being paired up with Jon Moxley, I mean that in itself is gonna get you through a better match. It is because Jon Moxley has pretty much been the MVP for a little while now, since that, you know, with all these injuries that happened in AEW. And him becoming, you know, the second world champion in the company, and I will get your thoughts on the whole return that happened tonight. Technically, 2 returns that happened. But you know, it wasn't that bad of an idea to have this match. The match is not bad by any means, and we still have the AEW Interim World Champion being Jon Moxley at the end of the day, so that's cool. That's really cool. So we had this awesome chance happen during the match, and Moxley goes for another sledge, but Jericho counters with a code breaker cover for a 2 count. Jericho then takes off the turnbuckle, and then Sammy throws Jericho's baseball bat. It kind of landed on the other side of the ring, but you know, once Jericho had it, he nailed Moxley with the bat and covered for a 2. Moxley then gets a roll up off the walls of Jericho into a rear naked choke. Jericho escapes and then hits a Judas effect. Jericho covers. Moxley kicks out at the count of 2. The first person to ever kick out of the Judas effect. And that was noted on commentary. A very cool stat. Very cool. And honestly, I didn't even really think of that for real. I didn't even think that the Jericho effect was really all that protected up until now. Moxley is the first one to kick out of it. Just a cool stat.
You know something weird about this though? I have an issue because I don't like the fact that Mox is like, I'm happy that he won. I'm so happy that he won the match, but there's a disconnect with me somewhere over who gets the matches against him, why they get the matches, how the matches go. I don't know. I don't see the reason for the exposure of Mox. I know there was some headline that came out that said that like both of them were under fire because maybe Mox was getting too much, was working too much. I don't know. There's a disconnect with me somewhere. I'm not really sure where, but it's kind of why I can't get into the AEW World Heavyweight title picture just as a whole, because I just don't like the way it's being handled. So everything that surrounds it, I'm just like halfway disinterested, you know.
I think if Punk never got injured, I don't think we'd be seeing these World Championship matches week after week after week. The thing is, I think Tony Khan got scared, to be completely honest, and he didn't know what the fuck to do, so he put it in one of the most trusted guys that he has in AEW, and that is Jon Moxley. And we know Jon just continue. He wants to fight anybody at any fucking time, and that's not even like a legit part of his character. He would just do that randomly. Yeah. He'd just go out onto the freaking street as legitimately just Jon and just fight anybody. I think Tony Khan got scared, and he just gave it to Moxley out of, just saying, hey, you've been our most trusted guy. Go out there and kill it like you normally do. I don't know why he's had so many world title matches and honestly meaningless world title matches. I agree with you on that point because John is just going to retain.
Yeah.
They're good matches. I'm not saying that they're bad matches in any way. It's just that you just know. We knew John Moxley was going to be the one to beat Mance Warner when Mance Warner got the it was technically a championship contender matches, but I'm trying to get that Vince McMahon isn't out of my brain. What do they call it here in AEW? Oh, championship eliminator. That's it.
Yeah.
We knew that Moxley was going to beat Mance in the eliminator match. We knew that Moxley was going to beat Jericho here tonight. It's a weird aspect, but that's really what I think it came down to. I think Tony got scared, and he just had to put the championship on a guy that he trusted the most, and that was John. It's not one of the worst guys that you could have put it on. John.
Oh no.
John. Honestly, if it wasn't for the CM Punk injury and everything like that, John should have been the first ever two-time world champion in this company, because John has been, like I think Josh is saying here, John has been the MVP of AEW since honestly its inception.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that Moxley hasn't deserved it. It's that with the way that Moxley has been portrayed as the world champion, with all these championship matches going on, it's like, what's really the point?
Yeah.
So I definitely see where you're coming from there. It's nothing that, it's nothing to really scuff at, because you're 100% right in these championship matches not really meaning anything.
And that's why I was like, we didn't really get to this part, but we'll probably talk about it in a minute. But when the person came back towards the end of the show, at the end of the show, I was surprised. I was surprised to see him. First of all, that was a surprise.
That was a really good surprise. That was.
Yeah, I thought fucking Omega was gonna come out there, but that was like, once the surprise factor went away after like the first 10 seconds, I'm like, okay, now where do you go here? Because I feel like they're about to just have CM Punk win, but I don't know if CM Punk deserves to beat Mox after all this time, because Mox has been holding it down since CM Punk has been gone. So it's just like, the match itself is going to be cool, but I feel like either one, there's like one of those matches where I care who wins and I don't care at the same time, because it's just like, I understand both of their cases, but at the same time, I hate both of their cases. So it's just like, I don't know,
And Josh, he does know it was CM Punk, but you probably thought that I haven't really mentioned the whole CM Punk return yet. So you just said that person. He knows CM Punk returned tonight.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, and the thing is, I mentioned it at the top of the show, so you could have just said CM Punk.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, I mentioned it at the top of the show and everything, and I'll actually show you the tournament for the Trios Championship came out tonight. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so
I saw that at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, so we'll go over that as well. I'll get your thoughts on all the rest of the show that happened. But at the end of it all, Moxley being the first one to kick out of the Judas Effect, which is a very shocking statistic, but now that I think of it, with Jericho in the 3 years of AEW, no one really has ever kicked out of the Judas Effect before. So that was the thing that happened. So Jericho, he was busted open at one point from the turnbuckle spot, and then Moxley escapes and does some elbows, strikes and then gets him into the rear naked choke, the bulldog choke, and Jericho taps out, and we have Moxley as still our AEW World Champion interim. Hager, Sammy, they run down to attack Moxley. The Blackpool Combat Club then run down to even odds. The rest of the JAS run down for the brawl against BCC. Jericho then gets the belt. He hits Moxley with it, but then all of a sudden CM Punk's music hit, and I have to say that was such a huge moment. It really was, because I didn't expect it tonight. I didn't. I thought it could have happened at least like 2 weeks before All Out, but they did it early, and I'm fine with it as long as CM Punk's actually able to come back. I'm cool with it. You gotta know how to you gotta build this up somehow. Because now we have 2 AEW champions.
Hold on 1 second.
No worries. So yeah, now we have 2 AEW World Champions. Jon Moxley as the interim. CM Punk as the actual World Champion. He never lost this championship because, that's what happens here in AEW. If you go on hiatus, we're gonna have an AEW, we're gonna have an interim champion, and then we'll unify the titles. It's not the best scenario. It really isn't, but that's what happens here. And but that's what happens. But we got CM Punk here. He makes his way to the ring. He attacks the Jericho Appreciation Society. Punk then clears the ring of the JAS, takes out Jericho, clotheslining him out of the ring, and JAS stared down Punk from the ramp. Punk shouts at them. Moxley and Punk are back to back. Then once they hit, they turn around, they face each other. Holy shit chants happen. Moxley gives Punk the finger. He's like, yeah, fuck you. And then they checks him out. He leaves the ring. Moxley leaves with the Blackpool Combat Club. And Punk soaks in the crowd's adulation, jumping on that injured ankle, 1 foot, just to prove that he's back. And the ankle's perfectly fine as the show goes off the air. Punk and Moxley is going to be the main event of All Out. We knew that was going to be the case. At least we all hoped it was going to be the case, because I heard there were some actual complications with his ankle injury, but he's okay now, or at least he seems like it. Are you going to be interested in a Punk Moxley feud?
No, because you know how I feel about CM Punk.
Right.
And Mox is okay, so I think I just want Mox to win now, but at the same time I don't. But at the same time I do. I'm just, I don't know, man. I got to sleep on this one. I don't know.
I think it could be good, mainly because you're gonna have to bring up the Shield part of this. You're gonna have to.
How do you do that?
I don't know how, but they're gonna have to, because CM Punk was the originator of the Shield, and Moxley was a part of that, and they're gonna have to figure out a way to do that without you're gonna have to go through some major hoops to get through that. But you're gonna have to talk about that, because that's the thing that really binds them together.
Yeah.
Because other than that, they don't have any type of real story. When Punk was the world champion in WWE on that 434-day reign, the Shield were a part of that in a major way.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be done, but I don't know how it's going to be. Well, other than that, I think Punk and Moxley could be a great match. I think it could sell All Out. I really do think it could. if they have the story right. I just hope Punk's ready to come back. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, he looked good. He did that little hopping
he
around thing.
jumped
Like, look, my
around.
leg
He
is
jumped
fine.
around on that one ankle.
I was like, okay, but
I,
I don't know.
that
The
that
match
was
is
a
gonna be
little
good. I
that
just
was a
don't
little
think
bit weird. I will give you that. That was a little bit
what
weird of him jumping on that one ankle, just like, hey, I'm here. Like,
he's probably freaking excited. Hey, look at my legs work.
it was a little bit weird, but
He was super happy.
hey, I mean, hell, I'd be happy too if I was returning to the company again.
Yeah, the crowd
But
freaking lost it. It was good to hear that.
the crowd was loud, right? Like I wasn't like,
Oh yeah, when his music came on, they fucking lost it.
yeah, they were freaking loud tonight. So they really did show out tonight, and I think Minneapolis actually showed out throughout the entire show. I think they were a great crowd.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have to ask you about this one thing because I know we've been getting them a lot lately. How do you feel about these special event type of AEW Dynamites?
I mean, it's cool. I just don't want them to oversaturate it. It's something that I wish that WWE did at times because I think that would bring more incentive to watching the shows. And I feel like the only time they kind of did that is when they did like WrestleMania Raw, and it was corny, but but
it was
I,
something.
yeah, I think it's a good idea. I just don't want it to be
And they
like
did like a Raw
oversaturated.
Roulette in the past and everything like that, where they did that whole thing. Having a special event type show like this is pretty cool. But when you had Blood and Guts not too long ago, then you had there was another one that just happened. And then you had Quake by the Lake here tonight. And then you have another show that's going to be happening next week that's like, it's like Game of Thrones type themed.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is that? It was freaking
That's why I was like, what is
dragon.
that?
I was like, what the hell is
It's like House of Fire thing.
the card looks
Game of
nuts,
Thrones.
though.
Game of Thrones. I like Game of Thrones. It's not bad. I was just like, what the hell is this? A Fighter Fest. That's it, Tony. Thank you. So we had Fighter Fest. But Fighter Fest actually used to be a pay-per-view before it just turned into a Dynamite. So yeah, I think it's good, but I think what you're saying is 100% true, and saying that they can't just continue to do it on a weekly basis. Don't oversaturate it because these shows should feel special when they happen. So we'll see. How'd you feel about the Coffin Match tonight? Let's start off with Darby and Brody.
The best part of that was the ending spot, how Brody just fell perfectly into the coffin. That was great.
That was some real good timing. I will say that.
Yeah. Tonight was good time. I forgot to say when I first got in here, the fucking I was on Nate's live watching it, and whoever that dude was who was fighting Ricky Starks.
Anthony Henry.
Yeah. When he went for the kick and Ricky ducked it and came off the ropes and speared him, oh my gosh.
Dude, so
Ricky
good, right?
Ricky Starks is that man. I'm trying to tell y'all. Ricky Starks is crazy.
I've been behind Ricky Starks from the beginning, bro. Like, he's great. Like,
sheesh. That guy's good.
What you think of the tornado tag match with the Lucha Bros, Andrade, and Roosh?
It was all right. It wasn't nothing to write home about, but it's okay.
Tornado style, I mean, that's what made it so fast-paced, and that's what made it look so appealing to the audience. Roosh is just fantastic. I will tell you. Anybody says.
I would say I think they gave Andrade the win because they've heard. I think Tony heard all the rumors about him possibly not being happy. I thought that was funny.
That possibly could be the case. But honestly, at the end of the day, Andrade and Roosh should be the type to win that type of a thing. And they're doing this whole thing with Pentagon's mask. Pentagon unmasked himself in the match just to break up a pinfall.
Yeah, I was confused about that, and I was like, okay, I know what that was for, but
It's a thing. It's a thing. That's the whole story between Andrade and Rush for right now. They're trying to like take the mask away from Pentagon. I don't know what it is for real, but it's a thing. Luchasaurus and Anthony Henry, and that was kind of, that kind of was just very short. Ricky Starks and Aaron Solo, that was a pretty damn good match right there. I think that's the one that you were talking about right there. With Aaron Solo of the factory. That was pretty cool. And I know who the fuck that Tony D'Angelo guy is now. The guy that dresses up like Tony D'Angelo. Fucking Nick Camarado.
Oh, that's his name?
Yeah. His name is... I should have fucking known that it was Nick Camarado. Because the reason why they're doing that is because Two Dimes is in their group now.
Oh, that's so stupid.
I don't know if you knew that Two Dimes is a part of the factory now.
Yeah.
But Two Dimes is in there now, and now they're making him dress up as Tony D'Angelo because of that whole thing. It's harmless. It really is. It's nothing too drastic. It's not like he's going backstage and like legitimately smoking a cigar like Tony D'Angelo actually would. It's just fucking dress up, so it's not that big of a deal for me. It's harmless to me, but to others, it's just like petty. But yeah, we had that, and then the TBS title match. I'm sorry, Law, but that was probably. I did say it was the worst part of the night for me, but it's not because of what many people think. It's just that it didn't really mean. It didn't mean anything. And plus, Madison Rayne lost her second match here in AEW. Like, come on now. I mean, I knew she was. I mean, obviously she was going to.
Yeah.
But why?
Madison Rayne didn't look the same.
The thing is, they didn't have any chemistry together. Nothing. There were so many miscalculations. Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
The best part about the freaking spot was the match was the freaking spear spot because she broke her in half and then everything just like I don't know, it's just
it could have just been an off day for them. Honestly, they really didn't have any chemistry. If they worked together, like I don't know what they do. They probably were talking before the match and everything like that. But if Madison Rayne was here longer, and this is like kind of like a built-up thing to get to Quake by the Lake, and we have this match for the championship instead of it just being like a 1 week type build, I don't think it would have been that bad. But they just had no chemistry.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I'm not saying that people can't have off nights. That happens all the time in pro wrestling. It happens. It's not the end of the world. But Jade Cargill's now 36-0.
That's it.
And not Thunder Rosa. Athena came out from behind her, and it looks like Athena's going to be the one to take out Jade. I don't think that that's the right call. I don't. I think it should be Chris, and I said that many times, but it's gonna happen now, and we'll see where that goes from there. What did you think of the Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm segment that happened, or did you see that?
I think Tony Storm has to beat Thunder Rosa at one point. I mean, at some point. Thunder has to turn heel quickly because it's not. I'm not feeling it anymore. It's just something. There's a disconnect somewhere.
Yeah.
And I honestly do like Tony Storm more. It's just Thunder Rosa is still the champion, so I think she needs to have something added to her that hasn't been there for a little bit. So
point blank, 100% correct in saying that she just needs to turn heel, and that's Thunder Rosa. If Toni Storm is the one to beat Thunder Rosa for the championship, I'm not mad at that. I want to make that clear. I'm not mad at that because she's been working her ass off ever since she came here. And the thing is, I love the way that they've been utilizing Toni Storm. If you're going to have Toni Storm be the one to beat Thunder Rosa, that's fine. Just have Thunder Rosa turn on Toni Storm during all this. But if you're going to have them to retain, regardless, she has to turn heel on Toni Storm. No matter what the outcome is going to be, whether she retains or whether she loses the title, Thunder Rosa needs to be a heel.
Yeah.
No matter the outcome. Whether she retains or loses the title, she needs to turn heel. Because she has that aspect within her to be a heel. She's got the promo work for it. She's got the character work for it. She's got the cadence for it.
Yeah, I saw someone say that Toni should turn heel, but I don't think that's going to work. I don't know. I think Toni should stay face forever. I think that her character fits that more. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's something I got to watch. Really, I really don't know at the moment.
Tony, is Chris really injured again? What happened?
What?
Let me look that up. Because apparently she got injured on Dark. God damn it, she did. Fuck. All right.
Damn.
Chris Statlander was bumped all the way from number 2 as this has no public acknowledgement of injury, but she did tweak her knee in her victory against Saraya on AEW Dark. Fuck. Another injury. Jesus Christ. Sorry. My bad. Another knee injury for Chris Statlander. That sucks.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened to her the first time.
Damn.
God dang it, Tony. Did you just get the text that she just sent us?
You said what?
Did you see the text that Megan just sent us?
Yeah.
God.
I don't know what her problem is.
Again.
Go put herself through that pain again.
Again, right? But yeah. Damn it. Fuck. Chris Statlander, please.
That's ridiculous.
Please don't be like totally injured. So yeah, obviously Athena's gonna be the one to do it now. Because Chris was supposed to be the one to do it, and now all of a sudden this happens. God damn it. All right. Well, talk about that when that gets done and over with. But here's the thing: if Chris Statlander ever wanted to turn heel when she came back to attack Athena, who could possibly be the new TBS champion when she returns, saying that you took my opportunity away. That could be something. I mean, like that could be a silver lining in all of this. Maybe. I'm just trying to find some kind of silver lining.
Yeah.
Best
you can get at the moment.
I mean, and that makes sense. I mean, she was supposed to be the one to do it. So if you took you're the one that took my opportunity away, it could work. I think he's getting on stream. Oh yeah, no, Tony Storm is going to be the one to challenge Thunder. Like that's a thing. That's easily a thing. Um. Oh, Chris was number one for Thunder. Oh. Oh, okay. Um. No, Marquise. I've seen you type that a couple of times. It's not that I haven't. It's not that I don't want to ignore it. Is that I just don't think it can happen. Ricky Starks is not going to be in WWE ever. Um, but yeah, that was it. That was your AEW Dynamite for tonight, and it was a good show for what it was. We got the next show tomorrow. Not tomorrow. We got the next show for next Wednesday. We'll see where things go from there. We got we also have the Rampage. We have the Rampage spoilers, but we're not going to be doing that because that's going to be our Friday show anyway. We'll see where that goes from there, and we'll see how it goes. But all right, guys, thank you guys so much for joining us right here on Outside the Brand. If you guys liked what you saw tonight, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell for all notifications. That way you never miss when we go live. Go check out the Bonfire link, bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Outside the Brand and its merchandise. Go follow Panda Wrestling Company on Twitch, Panda Wrestling Company on Twitch. We are there live every Tuesday from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Also here on the YouTubes as well. And yeah, guys, have a good rest of the night. We'll see you guys on Friday for Friday Night SmackDown and AEW Rampage right here on Outside the Brand. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.